what's happening? Thank you for stopping by to visit the channel for this upcoming game preview of TCU and Oklahoma State. If this is your first time visiting the channel and you want to hear a different take of college football from an analytical perspective, if you haven't done so already, please click that subscribe button, click the notification bell, and select all so you don't miss another video. Also, like the video and share the video. It helps this channel grow. And give me your score prediction in the comment section below, even if you agree or disagree with my score prediction. Now, as we start with every video, we go to the tail of the tape of advanced metrics because this is an analytics-based channel. So this screen is a base point of the advanced numbers between TCU and Oklahoma State. TCU on the left, Oklahoma State on the right, as you can tell. And as we can see here, there's some pushes in the major rating systems of F+, SP+, and FEI. In terms of offensive SP+ and defense SP+, it looks like this is going to be a shootout, or it's slowly shaping up to be one. TCU's offense, 9th in the country in offense SP. They hold that advantage over Oklahoma State's defense, which is 32nd, and Oklahoma State's offense, which is 17th in offense SP, versus TCU's defense SP at 60. So I previewed the TCU-Kansas game last week, and that score does look familiar because that was my prediction of that game. Now, I did not predict Jalen Daniels going down with an injury, unfortunately, but we did get a shootout between Jason Bean and Max Duggan. And man, oh man, Max Duggan, Quentin Johnston, that duo could not be stopped. I created a video of that performance last week, and it was a sight to behold. Now, this game, it didn't really start to warm up until between the second and fourth quarters. Kansas was held to a goose egg success rate in the first quarter. Did not see that coming. Now, this game didn't feel like it was a quote-unquote typical Big 12 back and forth contest where it was a basketball score, essentially basketball on grass. I thought this was a well-played game between both teams. And I think TCU, especially their fans, have a little more respect about Kansas and how they showed up in this game, because a lot of people thought TCU was just going to come in and just roll Kansas the same way they rolled Oklahoma. But Kansas wasn't going, man. This was a classic Big 12 matchup to me. Both sides didn't give an inch. But in the end, it was all TCU. TCU really dominated the stat line for the most part. Max Duggan with a 68% pass success rate. TCU's running game finally got going, and when it did, they were able to put Kansas away. Even though Oklahoma State won this game by 10, when I watched it, you could kind of get this sense that Oklahoma State fans and Oklahoma State players were just annoyed by Texas Tech and their ability to just hang around and not be put away. Texas Tech started out this game about as good as you can get. They were throwing it all over the place. They were making plays. They were going for it on fourth down. They were ultra aggressive in this game, and I think it threw Oklahoma State off balance a little bit. The pass rush was able to get to Spencer Sanders, but Spencer Sanders showed me a lot in this game. He was throwing guys open, hitting guys on the run. Wasn't as erratic as what I've tend to see from him from time to time. I thought the Oklahoma State defense made stops when they needed to, but this was definitely a game where the final score wasn't indicative, I believe, of how close it could have swung for Texas Tech. Even though I thought Oklahoma State did more in this game to win, as you can see with the post-game win expectancy, 74% for Oklahoma State. But if there was one takeaway from this game, is that Oklahoma State can definitely take a punch, and Texas Tech is not an easy W when you get into Big 12 play. And I'm going to go ahead and say it. The Big 12 I don't think it's going to be an easy W for anybody. I mean, I guess if you're playing Oklahoma without Dylan Gabriel, but I don't think that's going to happen too much longer. When TCU has the ball on offense, they are favored in 8 of the 10 categories when they're facing the Oklahoma State defense. Oklahoma State's defense, as we can see here, the strength is their defensive line. They are relatively disruptive. 13th in defensive line yardage, very solid unit. Stuff rate, they are one of the top teams in the country in getting in the backfield and forcing you to play behind the chains. So this here is definitely going to be a test for Oklahoma State to try to get that TCU offense behind schedule. The problem with that is Max Duggan and that TCU offense is really good on passing downs. And they're also good at staying ahead of schedule. Now, they're 10th in the country in standard down offense as well. This is a big challenge for that Oklahoma State defense. If they're going to win this game, they're going to have to get more than enough stops for their offense to score on TCU. And I haven't seen TCU's offense be stopped as of yet. I mean, Kansas, yeah, they got a few. I don't think you're going to shut down TCU, to be quite honest with you. But if you're able to generate enough stops and generate enough negative plays, force some turnovers, this is where things can get a little hairy. When Oklahoma State has the ball against TCU, neither side has an advantage. But there is one item of note when Oklahoma State has the ball. The offensive line in this game for Oklahoma State has to be the biggest part of their ability to have success. And the reason why I say that is because offensive stuff rate, offensive sack rate, offensive line yards. Oklahoma State leads TCU in those categories. So, if the offensive line of Oklahoma State can push the pile against a TCU defensive line that is 120th in defensive line yardage, if they're able to push the pile, that should give enough room for their running backs to find holes, and also for the guards to get up to that second level and engage in their linebackers. If Oklahoma State can do that, that'll generate some balance and give Spencer Sanders some throwing lanes. If they can't do that, then they're gonna have some serious issues here. As far as explosiveness goes, TCU, they don't give up a lot of explosive plays. One of the best teams in the country at that. In overall defensive success rate, TCU is a solid defense. Not necessarily great, not like the Gary Patterson days where they had those dudes, man, on that defensive line. No Jerry Hughes back there. No Jerry Hughes on the D line at all, man, unfortunately. But at the end of the day, if Oklahoma State's going to have some success, they're going to have to lean on that offensive line against TCU. So at the time of recording, the Vegas line has TCU, the lower ranked team, by the way, favored by 4 at home against Oklahoma State. My model has it right around the 4 is like 3.7 and some change, but we're going to round up because, them's the rules. TCU's expected score in the model is 34 to Oklahoma State 30. My model has TCU with a 60.5% win probability. Bill Connolly and his SP Plus ratings has Oklahoma State favored with a 51% win probability. So we're usually, pretty lockstep with his ratings, but I'm not as surprised. I think this game is going to be, as close to a pick 'em in my humble opinion. So in a game like this, where you have two teams who are strong offensively, but not so strong defensively, you can expect fireworks to take place in a game like this. But you can also expect to have a high rate of turnovers. In a game like this, you can't be negative in the turnover margin, because that additional possession that you give to the other team is huge. And not only when you give that other possession, but also where you give it to them as well. If you give that possession up in a short field, you can pretty much just strike up the band on the next possession, because it's going to be a touchdown, guaranteed. I don't think it's going to end up being like a field goal. They're going to go down the field. They'll go in and they're going to score quickly. What concerns me about this game is that Oklahoma State against Texas Tech, and this is why I said that Texas Tech gave them all they wanted and more. They just would not go away. Oklahoma State's defense was on the field for over 100 plays. In a team like Texas Tech, they go for it on fourth down. They put a lot of stress on you. That cannot be conducive to going up against another team the following week that is playing hot and is also one of the fastest teams in the country. TCU skill guys are incredibly quick, and when they get out in the open field, it can lead to some problems and a leaky secondary. So in a game like this, I don't know if it's going to be like basketball on grass, but against my better judgment and going against a Mike Gundy coach team on the road, I'm going to pick TCU in this game to win by the score of 38-35. I think last week is going to catch up to Oklahoma State in the wrong way. And TCU is playing better football at this stage right now. So yeah, I don't know if it's gonna. I think it's gonna be one of those games where it's gonna be nip tuck back and forth. Oklahoma State's gonna give it, everything that they have, but I think TCU is gonna have too much firepower. Max Duggan and Quentin Johnston, that duo, man, is gonna be tough for Oklahoma State to handle. So I'm gonna go with the Horned Frogs on this one to win it by 3, not to cover the spread. So that is my pick. So with that being said, that is the end of this game preview. Let me know what your thoughts are in the game in the comment section below. Give me your score prediction. Tell me why your respective team is going to win. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please give the video a like. And if you love college football, please hit that subscribe button. Click the notification bell if you want to stay updated with the latest video. Thank you again for watching, and thanks for visiting the channel.